The board will now come to order. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderwoman Schweitzer, Alderman Cone, Alderman Narayan, Alderman Varmer, Alderwoman Velasquez, Alderwoman Sanye, Alderwoman Spencer, Alderman Browning, Alderwoman Clark Hubbard, Alderwoman Keys, Alderwoman Tyus, Alderwoman Boyd,
Present.
Alderman Aldred, President Green,
Present.
Alderman Oldenburg,
Present.
Alderman Cone, Alderwoman Velasquez, Alderwoman Spencer, Alderwoman Tyus. We have 12 present. We have quorum.
A quorum being present, we will be led in opening prayer and reflection by President and CEO of the Regional Arts Commission, Vanessa Cooksey.
Good morning. Board of Aldermen, City of St. Louis staff, colleagues, and friends. I'm Vanessa Cooksey, and I proudly serve as the President and CEO of the Regional Arts Commission. Today, I am reflecting on the profound and positive impact of the arts and culture on our city. Whether through music, theater, or literature, the arts uniquely uplift our spirits and foster community. The arts can reveal our innermost individual thoughts while reminding us of our shared humanity. During the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, thousands of city residents and business owners emailed, called, completed surveys, and attended meetings to advocate for investing ARPA funds in the arts and culture sector to support the financial recovery. In response, you unanimously voted to approve Board Bill 60, allocating $10.6 million to RAC STL. You acknowledged the critical economic impact of the arts and culture sector. We generate $868 million in economic activity for our region. You also affirmed our sector's proven track record of uniting residents and visitors through shared experience. We received the money in May, and I'm proud to report that as of this month, in partnership with our CDA colleagues, we have allocated all $10.6 million. In just 15 months, we granted income replacement and tourism recovery to 190 artists and 60 arts organizations. And even more important, with zero negative findings on our annual visits and our audit. Promises made, promises kept. Over the next 2 years and beyond, artists and arts organizations that received ARPA for the Arts will invite us to dream, hope, and see the beauty in our city. From the 28 vibrant new murals in every ward to the soul-stirring dance and side-splitting comedy that transcend boundaries, our artists and arts organizations will help elevate our thinking and commitment to greater joy, connection, and prosperity. I invite you to study the outcomes on our website, and I welcome you on September 23rd to our St. Louis Mural Project Wrap Party. On behalf of the commissioners and team members, thank you for the opportunity to elevate and expand our stewardship by entrusting us with ARPA funds. We look forward to partnering with you, Mayor Jones, and Comptroller Green to invest even more in our arts sector that will continue to contribute to a safer, more fun, and beautiful St. Louis. Thank you and God bless.
Any introduction of honored guests? Alderwoman from the 11th.
Good morning and welcome back. Very happy to be back in session this morning, and I want to acknowledge my very special guest, newly elected State Representative Marty Murray, who is up in the gallery. Additionally, I always want to acknowledge Dave Sweeney in the gallery. We'll check out the pants. Looks like he's in red today, so we're a little bit coordinated. Thank you. But I want to thank the staff here at the Board of Aldermen over our break. You know, there are many times with people going in and out for vacation, for COVID, for whatever. And as always, whenever you're calling for something, the answer isn't, oh, well, they're not here. It's no, let me take care of it. And the public at large may not know just how much you do and how valuable you are to this body. And I want to always acknowledge the work that all of you put in and how you pinch hit for each other and have each other's back. And so with that, I thank you so much. Welcome back, everybody.
Alderwoman from the 7th.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the board. I'll also be having state nominee Marty Jo Murray as my special guest. And also we'll be having our Democratic nominee for Sheriff, Alfred Montgomery, as my special guest as well. Thank you.
Alderman from the 13th.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the board. I guess we're going to be kind of sounding like a robot for the third time. I also want to introduce Marty Jo Murray. He was the former committeeman of the 7th Ward, 5th District State Party Chairman. He will be taking my old seat in the 78th. I know he's going to do great work. He's been doing it for a very long time as a Democratic nominee of the 78th District, as well as I want to acknowledge someone who grew up in the old 5th Ward, new 14th Ward, from the Car neighborhood, Democratic nominee for Sheriff, Alfred Montgomery. Wish them both the best, and I know they're going to serve the city and the state very well. So thank you for being here, and thank you for the work y'all do.
Alderwoman from the 10th.
Turn me on. Oh, okay. Good morning. Thank you, Madam President, members of the board. I would like to have as my honored guest Miss Aisha James. I am Aisha James, Auto Lady too. And if you don't know who she is the founder of Taste of Black St. Louis, which is setting up right across the street as we speak, and also here celebrating today as the kickoff. So, sis, I am so proud of you and how you have grown Taste of Black St. Louis, and I'm looking forward to coming out and celebrating and supporting you all weekend.
Alderwoman from the 8th.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the board. This morning, I would like to have as my honored guest Isaiah Pasic Santiago. Today marks his last day down here with us at the Board of Aldermen. I want to acknowledge Isaiah's work here as my legislative assistant. He's done an amazing job at a new job for all of us down here, one that really required him and all of the legislative assistants to really navigate a new number of alderpersons, sets of responsibilities, and really try to figure out the best way to not only provide guidance legislatively, but really work with constituents and really do the work in a large part of the alderpersons, having taken on much larger districts and a much larger set of responsibilities and roles. And of course, having a lot of new staff and a lot of new alderpersons down here to work with. Very, very difficult year. Isaiah's done an excellent job, not only following all the legislation, providing guidance, recommendations, but really juggling a very diverse district, one with a lot of important roles and responsibilities. And I'm excited to have Isaiah here down here as his last day. Of course, he will not be leaving us, but he will be leaving the board as our staff person.
Any further introduction of honored guests? Alderwoman from the 7th.
Yes, I also just wanted to echo my well wishes to Isaiah. I served on the budget committee, and did an amazing job every day for months, hoarding all of us, reminding us of when our meetings were, following up and making sure the questions that we have for departments and just many of the interactions I've had with the 8th Ward office have been amazing, and I've really enjoyed your service. And even your unofficial appointment as social caucus chair here, I think also, or co-chair, I'm sorry. Let me get it right. Co-chair, my apologies. No attacks, please. As your service there. But I also wanted to have as my honored guests all of the many individuals on Tuesday who made their way to Jefferson City to hear the hearing that we would have on whether or not Amendment 3 for reproductive justice would still be on our ballot. It will still be on our ballot, but I know that there were many folks who last minute were, doing the hard work of making sure that this conversation happens and really advocating for democracy and for reproductive freedom and reproductive justice. So I just want to send a thank you to any of those lawyers, any of those residents, any of those constituents for hanging in there in that whole coalition of doing that work and making sure that it does get to be the people's choice. Thank you.
Right, Alderwoman from the 10th, you are recognized on the approval of the minutes from Tuesday, August 13th, 2024.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the board. I move that we approve the minutes from Tuesday, August 13th, 2024.
It's been moved by the Alderwoman from the 10th, seconded by the Alderman from the 5th, that we approve the minutes from Tuesday, August 13th, 2024. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Report of city officials.
Report of city officials can be found in A, B, and C of the agenda, and a copy has been placed in the Google Drive for your review. Dear members of the board, I have the pleasure to submit the following individuals for appointment to the 620 Market Community Improvement District. The appointment of Robert O'Laughlin, who resides in St. Louis County, serving as a property owner whose term expires August 11, 2028. The appointment of Stephen O'Laughlin, who resides in St. Louis County, serving as a property owner whose term expires August 11, 2028. The appointment of Norman Alfaro, who resides in St. Louis County, serving as a property owner whose term expires August 11, 2026. The appointment of Kathy Rafferty, who resides in St. Charles County, serving as a property owner whose term expires August 11, 2026. The appointment of Joseph Mooney, who resides in St. Louis County, serving as a property owner whose term expires August 11, 2026. I respectfully request your approval of this appointment. Sincerely, Tashara O. Jones, Mayor of the City of St. Louis.
Alderwoman from the 8th, you're recognized on Mayor Jones' appointments to the 620 Market Community Improvement.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the board. I move that we approve the mayor's appointment to the 620 Market Community.
It's been moved by the Alderwoman from the 8th, seconded by the Alderman from the 14th, that we approve Mayor Jones' appointments to the 620 Market Community Improvement District. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Dear members of the board, I have the pleasure to submit the following individuals for appointment to the Cousins Martin Luther King Grand Community Improvement District. The reappointment of Zachary Wilson, property owner representative. The appointment of Jake Norwood, who resides in the 6th Ward, property owner representative. And the appointment of Andrew Knopp, who resides in the 9th Ward, property owner representative. I respectfully request your approval of this appointment. Sincerely, Tashara O. Jones, Mayor of the City of St. Louis.
Alderwoman from the 11th, you are recognized on Mayor Jones' appointments to the Cousins MLK Grand Community Improvement.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the board. I move that we approve the mayor's appointment to the MLK district. I'm sorry, I don't remember the whole name that quickly.
Second.
Thank you.
It's been moved by the Alderwoman from the 11th, seconded by the Alderman from the 13th, that we approve Mayor Jones' appointments to the Cousins MLK Grand Community Improvement District. That is a mouthful. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Dear members of the board, I have the pleasure to submit the following individual for appointment to West Community Improvement District. The reappointment of Emily Poulter, who resides in the 9th Ward. The reappointment of James Maloney, who resides in the 9th Ward. The appointment of Adam Belsky, who resides in the 6th Ward. I respectfully request your approval of this appointment. Sincerely, Tashara O. Jones, Mayor of the City of St. Louis.
Alderwoman from the 11th, you are recognized on Mayor Jones' appointments to the Olive West Community Improvement District.
Thank you once again. I move that we accept the mayor's appointment to the Olive Business District.
It's been moved by the Alderwoman from the 11th, seconded by the Alderwoman from the 7th, that we approve Mayor Jones' appointments to the Olive West Community Improvement District. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Dear members of the board, I have the pleasure to submit the following individual for appointment to the Convention and Visitors Commission. The appointment of Christopher Randall, who resides in the 11th Ward.
Alderman from the 14th, you're recognized on Mayor Jones' appointment to the Convention and Visitors.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the board. I would like to hold on this appointment.
Madam Clerk, please make note of that and withdraw the appointment.
Noted. Dear members of the board, I have the pleasure to submit the following individuals for reappointment to the Soccer Stadium Community Improvement District. The reappointment of Jason Thien, who resides in the St. Louis County. The reappointment of Kathleen Reeves, who resides in the St. Louis County. I respectfully request your approval of this appointment. Sincerely, Tashara Jones.
Alderman from the 14th, you're recognized on Mayor Jones' appointments to the Soccer Stadium Community Improvement.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the board. I move to approve the appointees of the Soccer Stadium Community Improvement District.
It's been moved by the Alderman from the 14th, seconded by the Alderwoman from the 7th, that we approve Mayor Jones' appointments to the Soccer Stadium Community Improvement District. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Dear members of the board, I have the pleasure to submit the following individuals for appointment to the 1100 Washington Avenue Community Improvement District. The appointment of Alex T. Oliver, who resides in the 10th Ward. The appointment of Emily Oliver, who resides in the 10th Ward. The appointment of Lucas Durkin, who resides in the 5th Ward. The appointment of Craig Heller, who resides in the 14th Ward, and the appointment of Lisa Shaw, who resides in Jefferson County, Missouri. I respectfully request your approval of these appointments. Sincerely, Tashara O. Jones, Mayor of the City of St. Louis.
Alderwoman from the 8th, you are recognized on Mayor Jones' appointments to the 1100 Washington Avenue Community Improvement.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the board. I move that we approve the mayor's appointments to the 1100 Washington Avenue Community District.
It's been moved by the Alderwoman from the 8th, seconded by the Alderwoman from the 11th, that we approve Mayor Jones' appointments to the 1100 Washington Avenue Community Improvement District. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Dear members of the board, I have the pleasure to submit the following individuals for appointment to the Art Museum Subdistrict. The appointment of Emily Pulser, who resides in the 9th Ward. Then the appointment of Robert Ashton, who resides in the 6th Ward. I respectfully request your approval of this appointment. Sincerely, Tashara O. Jones, Mayor of the City of St. Louis.
Alderwoman from the 10th, you're recognized on Mayor Jones' appointment to the Art Museum Subdistrict.
Thank you, Madam President. Members of the board, I move that we approve Mayor Jones' appointments to the Art Museum Subdistrict.
It's been moved by the Alderwoman from the 10th, seconded by the Alderman from the 14th, that we approve Mayor Jones' appointments to the Art Museum Subdistrict. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
That is the extent of the report of city officials.
Does anyone wish to take any bills or resolutions off of any of our informal calendar? Anyone wish to take any bills or resolutions off of any of our informal calendars? Seeing none, first reading of board bills.
First reading of board bills. Board Bill number 83, introduced by Alderman Oldenburg. An ordinance establishing a three-way stop site at the intersection of Macklin Avenue and Milets Avenue, regulating all traffic traveling northbound and southbound on Macklin Avenue and eastbound on Milets Avenue at the intersection of Macklin Avenue and Milets Avenue, and containing an emergency clause. Board Bill number 84, introduced by Alderwoman Keys. An ordinance authorizing the mayor and comptroller of the city of St. Louis to execute a temporary construction easement with certain terms and conditions with Great Rivers Greenway District to allow its equipment workers and materials to install on, over, across, and under the land depicted on Exhibit B within Exhibit 1 for the purpose of constructing and installing a trail and containing a severability and emergency clause. Board Bill Number 85, introduced by Alderwoman Keys, an ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor and comptroller of the City of St. Louis to execute upon receipt of and in consideration of the sum of $200 and other good and valuable consideration, a quit claim deed to release, and forever quit claim unto Willie Jarman certain city-owned property located in City Block 4411A, which property is known and numbered as 4052 Camellia Avenue in the city of St. Louis, Missouri, and containing an emergency clause. Board Bill Number 86, introduced by Alderman Aldrich, an ordinance approving a redevelopment plan dated January 23, 2024, for the 1105 Olive Street area. Board Bill Number 87, introduced by Alderman Aldrich, an ordinance to install stop signs within various locations within the 14th Ward. Board Bill Number 88, introduced by Alderwoman Boyd, an ordinance approving a redevelopment plan dated May 28, 2024, for the 1100 Veronica Avenue area. Board Bill Number 89, introduced by Alderman Browning, an ordinance recommended by the Board of Estimate and Apportionment authorizing the St. Louis Treasurer's Office to accept the Cities for Financial Empowerment, which is CFE Fund Program, grant of up to an initial amount of $75,000, plus a subsequent anticipated award up to $75,000 for project implementation by entering into a memorandum understanding with the Cities for Financial Empowerment Fund, authorizing the expenditure of such funds to the extent received, authorizing contracts and other documents to expend such funds to the extent received, and containing an emergency clause. Board Bill Number 90, introduced by Alderman Browning, an ordinance recommended by the Board of Estimate and Apportionment authorizing the City Emergency Management Agency to accept a cybersecurity and infrastructure security agency, CISA, state and local cybersecurity grant in the amount of $198,317.91 from the State of Missouri Emergency Management Agency, appropriating said funds and required city match for such funds, authorizing the expenditure of such funds to the extent received, and authorizing contracts and other documents to expend such funds to the extent received, and containing an emergency clause. Board Bill Number 91, introduced by Alderman Aldrich. Pursuant to Ordinance Number 68937, the proposed bill authorizes honorary street name Freedom Way, which shall begin at the intersections of Market Street and 11th Street to the intersection of Chestnut Street and 11th Street. Board Bill Number 92, introduced by Alderman Aldrich, an ordinance authorizing the renaming of the Civil Courts Building at 1010 Market Street in honor of the Honorable Clyde S. Cahill, Jr., pursuant to Ordinance Number 68937. Board Bill Number 93, this number is not used this session. Board Bill Number 94, introduced by Alderwoman Clark Hubbard, an ordinance directing the Director of Streets to install speed humps pursuant to Ordinance Number 70333, as amended by Ordinance Number 71394, to calm the flow of traffic on the 6100 block of Kingsbury, the 300 and 400 blocks of DePere Avenue, and the 1300 block of Bayard Avenue. Board Bill Number 95, introduced by Alderman Aldrich, an ordinance to amend Section 3.72.030 of the revised codes of the City of St. Louis to add circuit attorney to the list of offices that have campaign contribution limits. Board Bill number 96, introduced by Alderman Aldrich, an ordinance amending Chapter 13.100 of the Revised Code of the City of St. Louis to establish a custodian of records for public governmental bodies, including the Board of Estimate and Apportionment. Board Bill number 97, introduced by Alderman Browning, an ordinance establishing a stop site at the intersection of Swan Avenue and Taylor Avenue and containing an emergency clause. This is the extent of first reading of board bills.
Reference to committee of board bills.
Reference to committee, reference to public infrastructure and utilities, board bill number 83, 87, 91, 92, 94, and 97. To to Health and Human Development, board bill number 84. To HUD's, board bill number 85, 86, and 88. Legislation and Rules, board bill number 95 and 96. And to Public Safety, Board Bill number 89 and 90. That is the extent of reference to committee.
Second reading, report of standing committees.
The following board bills were reported out of budget and public employees with a due pass recommendation. Board Bill number 70, introduced by Alderman Cone, Velasquez, and Sanier. Budget Board Bill number 74, introduced by Browning. The following board bills were reported. Okay, Board Bill number 70, introduced by Alderman Cone, Velasquez, and Sanier. An ordinance repealing ordinance number 68654, codified as Chapter 4.63 of the Revised Code of the City of St. Louis, and enacting in lieu thereof a new ordinance relating to the same subject matter. Board Bill number 74, introduced by Browning, Narayan, Aldrich, and Sanier, an ordinance amending ordinance number 71758, property tax credit for eligible senior taxpayers residing in the City of St. Louis. Board Bill number 82, introduced by Spencer, Aldrich, and Velasquez, an ordinance to regulate employer and employee working relationships between the City of St. Louis and all employees under the Circuit Attorney Office, including a compensation plan, terms and conditions of employment, benefits, leaves of absence, and authorization for a deferred compensation plan, repealing ordinance number 71693, allocating certain other employees to a grade with rate N, including an emergency clause and effective date. The following board bills reported out of HUD's. Board Bill number 15 as amended, introduced by Aldrich, Cone, Clark Hubbard, Schweitzer, and Sanier. An ordinance amending Section B of Chapter 26.70.040 of the Revised Code of the City of St. Louis to extend the permitted operating hours of marijuana and dispensaries. This is the extent of second reading and report of standing committees.
Alderwoman from the first.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the board. I would like to be added as a co-sponsor of Board Bill 74. Thank you.
Noted.
Madam Clerk, if you could please add me as a co-sponsor to 70, 74, and 15 as amended.
Noted.
Any Alderwoman from the sixth.
Thank you, Madam President. Can you, Madam Clerk, can you also add me as a co-sponsor to 74?
Noted.
Right. Report of special committees.
We have none.
Board bills for perfection consent.
We have none.
Board bills for perfection.
We have none.
Report of engrossment.
We have none.
Third reading and final passage of board bills consent.
We have none.
Third reading and final passage of board bills.
We have none.
Report of the finally passed and signed by the President.
We have none.
Please dispense with line items 15 through 19. First reading of resolutions and reference to committees.
Resolution number 132, introduced by Alderman Vollmer and President Green, conflict of interest disclosure.
Alderman from the 5th, you are recognized on the first reading of resolution 132.
Thank you. Hello. Thank you, Madam President, members of the board. I would request unanimous consent.
Hearing no objection, you may proceed.
Thank you very much. For those of you who feel we're experiencing deja vu, we have passed this one already. This was resolution number 6. It's been through here. Something we do all the time. But by state law, it's supposed to be signed within 4 days of passage. It was not signed, so we have to go through all this all over again. So we've already done this once. It was so much fun, we're going to do it twice. With that, I close and ask for your favorable consideration.
Would you need to make a motion to
I make a
adopt?
motion that we pass out Resolution 132, Formula Resolution number 6.
It's been moved by the Alderman from the 5th, seconded by the Alderwoman from the 11th, that we adopt resolution. Any further discussion? Alderwoman 12th.
Madam President, members of the board, if the Alderman from the 5th would yield.
The Alderman from the 5th yield to questioning from the Alderwoman from the 12th.
I've been waiting for it all day. How's that? I used to be a goalie.
Let's start juggling.
These things are dangerous. No, it's the moment I've been waiting for. What can we do?
Kind of feels like a Harris and Trump moment. One of us. Okay, anyway, the question I have, and you are correct, we're supposed to have it signed, but I thought we had to have it done by a certain date, or else we had to go through a whole rigmarole. So do we, even when we change this, will we have this done by the date that is requested by state law?
I believe that is true. The clerk and I went through this. I don't know the specifics in my head, but this was why we're doing it today as fast as we can.
Well, but I'm just saying we may not have made
Well,
the date that we had to, and then we have to do something different. So you might be.
I'm at the 3-point line hoping it goes in. How's that?
Okay, so you're not sure. I'll talk with the clerk
Yeah.
because I know that.
I believe we had to settle that the day we're in time. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, it's been moved by the Alderman from the 5th, seconded by the Alderwoman from the 11th, that we adopt Resolution 132. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries.
That is the extent of first reading of resolutions in reference to committee.
Second reading of resolutions, committee reports, and adoptions.
We have none.
We can dispense with line item 21, courtesy resolutions. Alderwoman from the 10th, you are recognized on the motion to adopt the courtesy resolution consent calendar.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the board. I move that we adopt the courtesy resolution consent calendar.
Moved by the Alderwoman from the 10th, seconded by the Alderman from the 14th, that we adopt the courtesy resolution consent calendar. Any discussion? Alderman from the 4th.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the board. I was just reviewing the courtesy resolutions calendar. There's a lot of great resolutions. I request to be added as a co-sponsor to all of them.
Noted.
Madam Clerk, please make note of that. Alderwoman from the 7th.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the board. I would like to request to be added to Resolution 112, which recognizes the contributions of St. John's. Even though it's in the Alderman from the 14th ward, it's actually my church home. And I would also like to be added as co-sponsor to Resolution 113 by Alderwoman Keys that recognizes the contributions of Black Theater Day.
Madam Clerk, please make note of that. Alderwoman from the 6th.
Thank you, Madam President. I'm going to follow my colleague from the 4th lead, and please add me to all of the resolutions.
Madam Clerk, please make note of that.
Noted.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Any further discussion? It's been moved by the Alderwoman from the 10th, seconded by the Alderman from the 14th, that we adopt the courtesy resolution consent calendar. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Miscellaneous and unfinished business.
We have none.
Can dispense with line item 23, announcements.
Tuesday, September the 17th, 2024, Transportation and Commerce in the Kennedy Room at 9 a.m. HUDs in the Kennedy Room at 11 a.m. Wednesday, September the 18th, Public Infrastructure in the Kennedy Room at 3:30 p.m. Thursday, September the 19th, Personnel Meeting webinar at 11 a.m. Public Safety in the Kennedy Room at 2 p.m. And Friday, September the 20th, Full Board Meeting Chambers at 10 a.m.
Any further announcements? Any further announcements? Alderwoman from the 11th.
In one fell swoop, so I don't have to stand up another time to do it. So we have a very, very full calendar in this city this weekend. So in the 11th ward, We have the O'Fallon Community Developing Organization. They're having their monthly meeting at the O'Fallon Rec Center at 10 a.m. tomorrow. And all of these announcements are for tomorrow or Sunday. Farragut School is having their reunion at 4025 Sullivan. So all of you who are like Aura here, Aura Higgs, whose mom I experienced working with at Farragut School many years ago. So I'm excited to see you at the reunion and the rest of the family. Pruitt-Igoe has their annual reunion from 2 to 6 p.m. at the St. Louis Place Park at 21st and St. Louis Avenue. Art St. Louis have a new opening at 2801 Locust. That begins, I believe, at around 5 o'clock. So please come in and enjoy, coffee or snacks and see some of the exhibits of local artists. Music at the intersection kicked off on Thursday, goes through till Sunday. If you would like a ticket, I do have just a very, very few. But you don't want to miss Sunday because Chaka Khan gonna be in the house. So we look forward to that. By the way, Chaka Khan goes on at 8 o'clock on Sunday, so you do not want to miss Chaka Khan. You know you got to say her name twice. All right. So, I'm sorry, say that again? I hope so. All righty. Well, thank you. And I believe that is the end of my announcement. No, one more thing. I do want to remind you all that the 11th Ward is rich in entertainment venues, restaurants, the arts district. All of that's in the 11th Ward. Please take an opportunity when you have time to stop into some of the great venues there. We have the Foundry, we have Top Golf, we've got the new Target, we've got, let's see, did I say the Foundry? The Armory. So a lot of great places to go. Some are family places, some are, for adult entertainment. So please take an opportunity to explore the elevated 11th Ward. We look forward to seeing you there. Thanks.
Alderman from the 14th.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the board. I have two announcements. One, I forgot to introduce my special guest, former state senator of the 5th District, now serving on boards and commission. She's watching far in Jeff City, Senator Jamila Nasheed. If everybody can give her a little wave, she is watching, so a little wave, hey. And then secondly, I want to remind everybody the amazing, fabulous Alderwoman from the Power of 10 mentioned it, but want to remind folks, this weekend is Black Taste of St. Louis. If you have not been to the celebration that's been going on for several years, this one is bigger and better. We have several vendors that are already setting up across the street. I invite everybody to come out. It will be going on from Friday all the way to this Sunday. This Saturday, if some of my colleagues would like to join me at 11:30, I will be going on stage with the mayor of the city of St. Louis. So I encourage all my colleagues from the board of aldermen join me, and I will make sure that y'all can come on with me. But please go out, support our vendors, support our Black-owned vendors. A lot of our vendors out there are sidewalk vendors or food truck vendors, and we know, especially for minority owners, that before they even go to brick and mortar, a lot of them have to start off as food trucks and then they move on to a brick and mortar. So you're not going to want to miss it. Again, it's from today leading all the way up to this Sunday. So please go out and support all the vendors that are out there. Thank you.
Alderwoman from the 10th.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the board. You know I have a million things. That's why I always go live after the meeting on my Facebook page so that I don't take up the time. I remember there was a rule that Alderman Balmer had with all my announcements. So I still respect that. But again, I want to echo about the Taste of Black St. Louis. I was looking for my colleague, Alderman Cone, because I wanted us to do this tandem. Hopefully we'll see you all as well tomorrow at Dance the Vote at the History Museum. Our good friend Joan Lipkin with her event, as well as, we're about 52 days until Election Day. There's a lot of events going on. There's a great event going on at our very own HBCU, Harris Stowe. There's a great one going on with Judge Anne Marie Clark and some other institutions that are working with her. There's a great one going on again in the elevated 11th Ward at St. Roch with our good friend, Mr. Ben Phillips. So I encourage us to make sure that we're sharing those with our constituents, that they're registered and ready, right? Not just registered, but registered and ready. And shout out to our good friend, Ben Borgemeyer, who's doing that work. So again, I hope to see you all out in the community this evening. And for all of the other events and all of the ones that were shared, I will repeat, don't forget to watch me live on Facebook.
Need further announcements, Alderwoman from the 6th.
Thank you, Madam President. Just a few announcements. There are kind of activities happening in September. Tonight, the Hispanic Leaders Group is having their annual gala, the Esperanza dinner and award at the MAC. Tomorrow in Tower Grove Park, the Gateway Korea Foundation is having their essentially Korean Thanksgiving Festival. And also not in the city, but important to note, the Venezuelan Society is having their annual picnic in Chester. So I want to support all the diverse communities that our city has.
Any further announcements? Seeing none, Alderwoman from the 11th or 10th, you are recognized on the motion to excuse.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the board. All members were present this morning.
Alderwoman from the 10th, you are recognized on the motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the board. I move that we adjourn until Friday, September 20th, 2024, in the Board of Aldermen.
It's been moved by the Alderwoman from the 10th, seconded by the Alderwoman from the 7th, that we adjourn until Friday, September 20th, 2024, in the Board of Aldermen chambers. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We are adjourned.